Hi, welcome back to another 10 with Ken. In this episode, we'll take a look at the latest news on MOOCs. We'll look at rebrandings of Christian colleges across Canada over the last decade, and we'll hear some apocalyptic projections for the labor market and the future of employment. Let's take 10 and take notes. Since UPEI's Dave Cormier coined the term MOOC in 2008, online open education providers have proliferated, from the granddaddy of them all, MIT's OpenCourseWare, to Silicon Valley startups Coursera and Udacity. The hype about MOOCs went into overdrive in 2012, with front-page stories on the end of college fueling Clayton Christensen's argument that disruptive innovation was finally coming to higher education. Proponents like Alec Kouros pointed out that universities and colleges no longer could claim to own education. David Wills, a religion professor at Amherst, slyly observed that the MOOC frenzy is like watching higher education discover the mega church. Faculty members responded with predictable dismay and alarm over the MOOC hysteria and the tsunami of poorly understood pedagogy, which started in Canada. Well, it's nice to get credit for something. You'll probably be relieved to know that within a year the MOOC menace had passed. The Chronicle of Higher Ed went so far as to publish a special e-book called Beyond the MOOC Hype. Surprise, surprise, it turns out that quality, free online courses aren't free to develop. In fact, Harvard employs more than 30 professionals in their 2 studios to produce MOOCs ranging from music composers and videographers to designers, animators, performance coaches, and more. Researchers from Columbia and Brown University talked to 83 administrators and concluded that investments for each MOOC course range anywhere from $40,000 to $325,000 per MOOC. For faculty, instructional support, videography, virtual labs, and the software platform. All-star professors are starting to get recognition too. Larry Sabato, a professor of politics at the University of Virginia, has won 2 Emmy Awards for his documentaries and has just been nominated for an Emmy for his MOOC on the Kennedy half-century. Even if it costs $50,000 to mount a MOOC course, if 50,000 students enroll, that works out to $1 per student. MOOCs aren't free, but wow, are they ever cost-effective. MOOC credentials, though, have been slow to evolve. In 2012, Harvard and MIT announced that students could sit an exam at a Pearson VUE Center and receive a certificate for successfully completing an edX course. A year later, MIT announced that students could pay a small fee to get a certificate for the completion of a sequence of edX courses, up to about a dozen, in subject areas like computer science, aeronautics, and supply chain management. But the real problem with MOOCs remains that only about 10% of students who sign up for free online courses actually complete them. We're really not digital natives just yet. Coursera may have discovered a solution, though: hybrid delivery. They have more than 30 bricks-and-mortar Coursera learning hubs worldwide, from Buenos Aires to Baghdad, and are seeing completion rates as high as 70% for students who attend in person to take these free online courses. So why am I bringing up MOOCs in 2015? Well, because there have been some really interesting developments this spring. First off, in April, Arizona State University and edX announced the launch of the Global Freshman Academy. Students can take free online courses with no prerequisites to complete first-year requirements at ASU. For a small fee, about $200 per credit hour, students can get full credit for the first year at Arizona State University. And the institution insists it will be indistinguishable on their transcripts from a year spent on campus. This spring's second MOOC announcement came from Coursera and the University of Illinois, who announced in May the launch of the first MOOC-based MBA, the IMBA. To get credit, students do need to meet admission requirements and pay about $20,000 in tuition, less than half of the usual on-campus fee. And thirdly, also in May, Amherst College announced that instead of establishing their own business program, their students could apply to take Harvard Business School courses through edX. These courses aren't free, they're about $600 each, but financial aid will be available and Amherst students will get Amherst credit for completing them. It looks like MOOCs are getting less massive, less open, and definitely less free. This week in the Brand Chemistry Lab, we've got a bunch of Christian college logo redesigns on the bench. Join us. We all know that Canadians are less overtly religious than our neighbors to the south. Religious affiliation is particularly intense in Quebec and Atlantic Canada. While the U.S. has 181 institutions in the Council for Christian Colleges and Universities, Christian Higher Ed Canada has 34 members, about 24 of them shown here. Small Christian colleges do consistently well in student opinion surveys, coming out on top in CUSC and the Globe and Mail University Report. But religious colleges have also experienced plenty of negative PR in recent years, ranging from sex assault allegations to funding problems. Redeemer University College and Trinity Western University were among the institutions with controversial scholarship programs found by Revenue Canada and the Supreme Court to be tax fraud. In 2009, St. Francis Xavier University struggled with its chancellor, the Bishop of Antigonish, who was embroiled in a child porn scandal that saw him removed from his position. And the evangelical position against homosexuality has led to protests and challenges over public funding for Crandall University and the Trinity Western Law School, among many others. Over the years, the CAUT has threatened censure for most Christian university colleges for requiring a faith test of their faculty. The percentage of secular college students in the United States has doubled since the 1970s, and research I did several years ago with Academica Group found that university applicants in Ontario are largely indifferent to religion when it comes to choosing a university. In fact, about a quarter felt strongly negative about religious affiliation, while virtually none felt positive about it. So given this ambivalence in Canada, it's not surprising to see religion get downplayed in the rebrandings of Christian colleges across the country in the last decade. For example, the Atlantic Baptist College in New Brunswick changed its name to Crandall University in 2008. A spokesperson said the denominationally specific name was abandoned in order to overcome what he called perceptual obstacles. Also in New Brunswick, Bethany Bible College changed its name to Kingswood University in 2012. With a neutral flame of knowledge as its icon, nothing about the identity suggests religion at all. Brescia University College at Western adopted a new visual identity years ago that replaced a more prominent cross with an icon that suggests a dove, a Bible in flame, or simply a letter B with feminine curves. In Calgary, Nazarene and Alliance University Colleges merged in 2007 to become Ambrose University. The Shield of Faith portrays a mountain peak more than suggesting divine inspiration. In Edmonton, Concordia University College adopted a new logo in 2010 that evokes the arched doorway of Schwerman Hall and the flowing waters of the North Saskatchewan River. The Christian cross has become a mere ornament inside the O of the wordmark. Likewise, Université de Saint-Boniface, the francophone affiliate of the University of Manitoba, launched a new brand identity in 2012 featuring its cupola with interlacing lines suggesting wheat fields and the Assiniboine Red Rivers. The institution's Catholic roots are not really apparent. Many millennials will also miss the allusion to the King of Kings in the 3 Canadian universities named for Jesus: the University of King's College in Halifax, King's University College at Western, and King's University in Edmonton. Religion's pretty understated in all 3 logos, but the King's University College visual identity has done a particularly masterful job of positioning the Christian cross as a mere ornament atop a royal crown. But none of the Canadian kings faced a brand backlash like the one that engulfed King's College London in Britain this past Christmas. In December 2014, King's College announced the culmination of a massive branding project reputed to have cost £300,000. The research concluded that the word college had negative connotations for international students, and so King's College London would be rebranding as simply King's London. Predictably, 12,000 outraged students signed a petition almost immediately and launched a class action lawsuit objecting to the project's obscene cost. Member of Parliament Simon Hughes publicly criticized the new brand. Within a month, the administration relented and announced that the rebrand would not be going forward. And now let's step back and take a look at the really long-range view for a moment. The anxiety of current college and university students is well documented across North America. A lot of the anxiety seems to be about their own career prospects, fueled by media stories suggesting that college is a lousy investment. The release last summer of the young adult movie Divergent, I think, neatly epitomizes the popular mood. In the post-apocalyptic dystopia of Divergent, teenagers have to make a tough career decision at a tender age. They must commit for life to one of 5 factions representing various career options, and there are no takebacks. This is a career advising nightmare, and it just adds fuel to the fires of student anxieties. But of course, reality isn't much more reassuring than popular fiction. The projections of economists are contradictory. Rick Miner, former president of Seneca College, published a well-known report several years ago called Jobs Without People, People Without Jobs. In it, he forecasts that the Canadian labor market will be short about 4 million skilled workers by the year 2031. This should be great news for young students. But of course, others disagree. TD economists in particular insist there are no signs of an imminent labor shortage in the Canadian economy. What students have seen with their own eyes has been pretty negative. Youth employment fell in 2008 and has yet to recover. New jobs created since the end of the recession in 2010 have been concentrated in low-paying sectors like food services, retail, clerical, and childcare. There's been a net loss of well-paying jobs in health, government, and nursing. There are, however, some promising signs of new industries and professions. Augmented reality will employ thousands of programmers, engineers, psychologists, and designers in the years ahead. New careers are projected to arise in vertical farming, body parts manufacturing, nanomedicine, memory augmentation surgery, and biomeat engineering. Ew. Perhaps worse, labor market forecasts call for more jobs in biohacking security and quarantine enforcement. Great. More depressing, though, many futurists project that those 4 million jobs Rick Miner promised will never materialize. Oxford's Future of Humanity Institute has calculated that 45% of all jobs will be replaced with artificial intelligence over the next 3 decades. A new YouTube video documents the many jobs already being replaced by bots and AI, and forecasts a future in which for most jobs, humans need not apply. Transportation jobs, retail, and manufacturing are just the start. IBM's Watson is out to replace medical doctors for diagnosis and prescription. The bulk of legal work is drafting contracts, predicting judgments, and reviewing millions of electronic documents in Discovery. These processes are already starting to be automated. Humans Need Not Apply argues that physical labor, administration, professional work, and even creative work will increasingly be done by bots that cost pennies an hour to operate. If the so-called utopia of a 2-day work week or a 0-day work week ever comes about, the political and economic implications will be staggering. We're just not ready for it. Well, once again, we are out of time. Thanks again for taking 10 with me. If you're watching this on YouTube, please take a second to click that big red button and subscribe to our channel. Now you can also subscribe to the 10 with Ken podcast on iTunes. You'll find the link at 10withken.com. For exclusive early access to upcoming episodes, please subscribe to my free email newsletter, The Eduvation Loop. I hope to see you next time.